As you know, I've recently been reviewing the actions online and in person of my web producer, Vincent Nicotra. Things he's said and done without my permission and without my knowledge. I've come to the conclusion that I can't condone much of what he's said and done, and I can no longer work with him in any way going forward. He's not going to be involved in any further projects.
What's up, y'all? It's your homeboy, and I got receipts. I know, cheesy tagline, but I'm testing it out. Today I want to talk about the Chris Hansen investigation on Onision. I've been keeping up with a lot of it. I've watched a lot of the live streams live and chatted in the chat. Sometimes people see me, I'm like, I'm moving so fast. You know, it's very interesting because I feel like it's become a bit of a spectacle, you know, like a show. For better or worse, I don't know. I personally, and I'm very curious for you guys' thoughts, by the way. And don't comment before the video's over, or at least comment halfway. But I personally do have faith in Chris Hansen's work, especially now that both parties have made it so personal, you know, with Chris Hansen showing up at his house and Onision filing a lawsuit against him and Repsion. That's kind of crazy to me. I know some people are losing faith because of Chris Hansen's partner, assistant, manager, I don't know what you would call Vincent. He's the guy that you guys sometimes would see in the corner of the interviews, which I thought was very bizarre. I don't understand why he needed to be in the little box. No offense, but I feel like I can make that remark now that he's out of the team. It's just like, you know, when there's such a driving force like Chris Hansen doing the right thing, there was a moment in time where I felt like you couldn't say anything, otherwise you're like messing with fire. I just didn't understand why he kept associating with Vincent Nicotra, because even before this whole investigation with Onision, he had controversy because of Vincent. YouTuber Mr. Gigi called this out already way back.
Vince messaged me and asked me if I wanted to be a part of a PR stunt. The PR stunt being that I would make a video claiming that Chris Hansen issued me a strike. And I'm not showing any of the text conversation on screen, but let me just show you this. A screenshot from Chris's live stream early in the chat, where Vince says he heard that Gigi already got a strike. That was him already tiptoeing into this PR stunt that I never agreed to, by the way.
I'll link the whole video in the description down below. Great video. And now, just recently, he had to call it out again.
I made a video 4 months ago where I addressed his team filing false copyright takedowns, doxing people, and just overall displaying an abundance of unprofessionalism.
Because Vincent didn't learn the first time when he was called out, and he began misbehaving in doxing people and taking down people's videos under Chris Hansen's name. Like, what?
The question stands, I don't know if you want to answer this or not,
right.
But why spare Mr. Gigi?
Because Mr. Gigi didn't do anything.
So why did Chris Hansen keep associating with Vincent Nicotra? You know, he released a statement on the 5th of January, but he kept associating with him. You still saw Vincent in the live streams. I don't know, you know, but at the end of the day, we don't want to take down Chris Hansen. We want to believe him, at least I do. And I know obviously he's got plenty of viewers and plenty of thumbs ups. Other people agree that we have faith in Chris Hansen. So it was just confusing to see him continue to have Vincent on board. And like I said, it's uncomfortable to go against the grain and be like, Chris Hansen, what are you doing? Because Chris Hansen, I do think that he is making a difference. But then I saw a thread on Twitter from Steven, the guy who reported the Newsweek article on Onision, and it read like this. Over the past few weeks, I've had multiple conversations with Vincent Nicotra about his recent behavior. On Sunday, he mentions in passing that he still has possession of the laptop and phone Sarah had sent out in November. I thought that sounded really strange. When I interviewed Sarah back in December, she was confident that the FBI had both her laptop and cell phone, which contained messages sent to Kai when she was still underage. Vincent had told Sarah that the hard drive is being sent to the FBI. That never happened. Then we see a screenshot of a text conversation between Sarah and Vincent, which shows Sarah asking, did you find anything? And what about my phone? There's lots in there, the most to be honest. Are you also sending me a copy still? And Vincent says yes to both. Vincent said the original plan was to copy the data on the devices and then send it to the FBI. The package was shipped on November 7th to Vincent's address under Chris's name. Vincent claims that Chris Hansen told him not to touch it and to wait for further instructions. The package sat with Vincent unopened for months. I don't like to get involved in the stories that I cover, that isn't my job, but I knew that Sarah didn't know what was going on, and after the conversations with Chris and Vincent, her devices were shipped back to her this morning. Chris said in a statement that he called the FBI immediately, but didn't want to ship it around without knowing the proper chain of custody. Time went by and he didn't hear anything. This morning he spoke to his connection at the FBI again. Now I understand the intention of wanting to help out Sarah and restoring the data on her laptop and cell phone, but when you lie to her and tell her that the FBI has it, that's not cool, especially because Sarah wasn't the only person that he told her belongings were with the FBI. He also did a little interview with a YouTuber in which he repeated the same.
FBI is in possession of a laptop of one of the victims. I'm not going to mention who it is, but we do have a cell phone and a mobile device other than a cell phone.
Wow.
In possession.
It's a lie, and what's the point? So it's obvious in the situation that Vincent was the bad guy. You know, people had their pitchforks against him, and he finally got booted. So happy ending? I don't know. Personally, I'm not about the whole pitchfork situation, but I do understand why people would be skeptical of Chris Hansen, because why did it take so long for him to let go of Vincent? Some people might be like, well, this is just recent. No, like I said in this video, this has been going on for over 5 months, you know? And even with this situation with Onision, Vincent said in late November that the FBI had Sarah's belongings publicly. Can we trust Chris Hansen? See, this is where I like to encourage people to think critically and just think of other scenarios. You know, don't always go to the cynical side, because I know that's very easy, but just think of other scenarios that could have happened. Maybe it's the boomer mentality in Chris Hansen, because he is a literal baby boomer. You know, he's 60 years old. So perhaps there was a conversational bridge between him and Vincent, since Vincent is in his 40s and he's somewhat technologically savvy for being in his 40s. So that worked out, and plus he knew him in person, so maybe it was easier to trust him than to replace someone, especially when he's so deep into this Onision investigation that, especially lately, became so personal. You know, it literally feels like an ultimate match now that they're gonna go to court together. Maybe, I don't know. Finding a replacement would have been time consuming, and perhaps he put it off because it would have taken away time from his investigation on Onision, especially that it got so personal. And you also gotta remember that he's used to being backed up by TV networks and all that sort of thing. So it seems like now he's working independently, so he probably hired someone that he already knew personally. But why didn't he fire Vincent sooner? Mr. Gigi warned him over 5 months ago.
Chris Hansen, if you are unaware of what is happening and what your brand is beginning to represent here on YouTube, I urge you to begin monitoring everything and consider different help. And if you are aware of what's happening, that is extremely disappointing and just a slap in the face to everyone in this community that supports you.
Maybe he was just lazy, or gave Vincent a pass and forgave him if Vincent apologized for that situation, didn't think it would come up again, because again, nothing happened for the first chunk of the investigation on Onision until late November and December, when things started spewing up. But I think people could benefit from looking at other people as a whole, as opposed to their individual actions or perhaps mistakes, if that's what you want to call them. Because overall, I've looked into Chris Hansen's record, overall track record, and overall it seems to be pretty good. He seems to have done a lot of good things, you know? I would like to give him the benefit of the doubt based on that, instead of just think, oh, you know what? He trusted Vincent for way too long, canceled.
I do want you to know that I will continue our very important investigation into YouTube streamer Onision and the impact of his actions on his victims. I am in constant contact with law enforcement investigators to forward this project, and I promise you that I will continue to treat the victims in these cases with the utmost respect and dignity they deserve. Speaking of respect, I do want to point out how some people are upset at Chris for sometimes messing up Kai's pronouns. Now, in my opinion, I don't think he's doing it with any ill intent. I see him correct himself when he remembers. Sometimes he forgets, but you gotta remember, he's a true boomer, okay? I don't know. I just don't see the ill intent in that, you know? I don't see him doing it in a malicious way or to spite anybody whatsoever. I know maybe some people feel offended, and I'm not trying to correct anybody or say you shouldn't be offended and validate anything. I'm just saying, from my opinion, I'm giving Chris the benefit of the doubt, and I want to see justice so bad, and I know so many of us do too. Anyways, that's my video. This is my haircut. Hope you guys enjoyed it. What do you guys think, alright? Let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. I was gonna upload the interview that I did with Alex Mixer on the Edwin's Generation channel today, but then I remembered, wait a second. Today's Chris Hansen's live stream. So if you guys go there, I'll see you in the chat. But yeah, I'm gonna be uploading the interview with Alex Mixer tomorrow on the Edwin's Generation channel. And I might make it a premiere so we can chat on the side while it's live. And then I hope that goes well, because we gotta remember, guys, nothing is black and white. You know, there's always nuance to try to understand. And I'm nervous about that video. But anyways, alright. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate all the love. And yeah, just cool. Thank you guys for enjoying watching me vent and express myself, you know? Even if you don't agree with my opinions, that's cool too. Thanks for listening. Okay, I'm done.